Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to bring you the results for the first leg of Triple Mania. That's Triple Mania Monterrey. And a recap for WWE SmackDown. Now, I did miss AEW Rampage and Collision because I had unexpected plans on Saturday. I do apologize for that. But we got a big week coming, so I'm just going to get through these nice quick things. And then we'll get to this next week. So, first up, results for Triple Mania Monterrey. As we have in our opening matchup, an 8-woman tag team match player. As Los Toxicas, that's Flammer, the double champion, the Reina de Reinas champion, and one half of the intergender tag team champions, along with their partner La Hydra and Maravilla, along with their tag team partner Dallas, who is from CMLL, as they defeat Fabi Apache, former Reina de Reinas champion, Estrella, Sexy Star, and Reina Dorada. I do hope I'm pronouncing those correctly. So, nice little 8-woman opener. Next up, we got the Copa match, which is a over-the-top rope battle royal. I do not have the participants here, but it was won by Pimpella Estrella. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I have no idea. Next up, we got a trios match as Dr. Wagner Jr. teams up with the Bestia 666. So I'm glad he's finding work. I miss him with Mecha Wolf. And Tigre Blanco as they defeat Negro Casas and his partners, the AAA Tag Team Champions, NGD, that's Sanson and Fornasso. I hope I'm pronouncing those right. And then, middle of the show for the vacant AAA Mega Championship, Nick Nemeth defeats Alberto El Patron, a.k.a. Alberto Del Rio, the notable prick. And I'm going to say this, I've seen clips of this match, and Alberto does not have it anymore. Like, he looks lost out there, man. So, moving on from that, we got an 8-man tag team match player. As we got Team USA, that's Sam Adonis, QT Marshall, Parker Boudreaux, and Satnam Singh, with Jeff Jarrett in their corner as they beat Team Mexico, that's Laredo Kid, Octagon Jr., and the team of Psycho Circus, that's Psycho Clown and Clown. So, very interesting they had Team USA beat the Golden Boy, Psycho Clown. And then in our main event, and this was part of Vampiro's retirement tour, you have Pagano El Macias, who was Judas Macias in TNA, along with Vampiro as they beat La Secta, who is Cybernetico, Dark Oz, and Dark Servio. I believe that's his name. I do apologize if I'm pronouncing all that wrong. Definitely an interesting way to kick off the Triple Mania season. We got 2 more of these coming, so it should be pretty darn entertaining. We now move for, obviously, the recap and review for WWE SmackDown, the first round of the draft. So, we start off backstage, we see everyone coming in, and then we cut right to a Paul Heyman interview saying that, the rumors of Roman Reigns aren't just rumors, they're facts. Roman has withdrawn himself from the draft, saying, I've been the face of SmackDown for years now, through the pandemic, and this is where I'm going to stay. I'm going to say this. If he's available, why? And I'm going to say this also. If you're going to do this, he shouldn't be just on SmackDown. He should be a free agent, and then you have a bidding war. I think that's what you got to do there. Then Heyman asks, oh, if Roman's not going to be number one, who is? And yeah, that ends that segment. We then take a look at the NXT arena, where the NXT signings are in there, and they're waiting for their number to be called. We then open with the WWE Undisputed Universal title match for Backlash and the contract signing. We got AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. Now, before AJ Styles puts pen to paper, picks up a microphone, pretty much says, Cody, you really don't realize what we have here. We got two Georgia boys getting ready to mix it up for the first time. And while, yes, Knight did get under my skin, and while he did beat me at WrestleMania, I quickly got back on track, and now that I beat Knight, I can focus on you, Cody, at Backlash. And while I have a ton of respect for you, Cody, we both had taken similar roads to get to the WWE, which, kinda true. But Dusty gave us both some advice about standing on our own 2 feet. And he taught me how to carry myself. And I see you, and I see the weight of that title is more than you can bear. And at Backlash, we'll see if you can carry yourself. So then AJ signs the contract. Cody ends up picking up a microphone saying, talking about respect. Not a single locker room out there that doesn't respect you, AJ. But at Backlash, the respect goes by the wayside. And you say, I can't carry the weight of this title. It's not about winning a title. It's about keeping it. And at Backlash, it's a level playing field. It's not a dream match. For me, it's a must win. And then Cody signs it. Cody then extends his hand for a handshake. AJ then kind of snubs him for a little bit, picks up a mic again, saying, it was a beautiful thing seeing you finish your story at Backlash, but it's going to be said that this reign is going to end at Backlash. So then they shake hands. AJ Styles steps through the ropes, thinks about getting back in, and then leaves. So, definitely going to be an interesting one. And as Cody is going up the ramp, Triple H's music hits, and he talks to Cody for a minute. They get to the podium set up on the stage, and they're ready for the draft. And Triple H asks Cody Rhodes to read off the names for SmackDown, considering he's SmackDown's champion, which does make sense. So, we're going to start us off. SmackDown gets the first pick for Friday, and their first pick is the EST herself, Bianca Belair. We're going to hear from her a little bit later. First pick for Monday Night Raw, it's main event Jey Uso. Second pick for SmackDown, making his official WWE main roster call-up, former NXT champion Carmelo Hayes. That's a good pick. And on Monday Night Raw, their last pick for this first round, it's Seth freaking Rollins. Now, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to leave this till the end. I'm going to leave it till the end. So, Triple H and Cody are about to wrap up. Carmelo Hayes' music hits. So I guess he wasn't at the Performance Center, but he's here. He grabs a microphone. He says, when they talk about who's next, it's Carmelo Hayes. And Cody, ever since you won that title, you've been saying you came for the king, you don't miss. When I shoot my shot, I don't. So I'm going to shoot my shot tonight against you. Cody picks up the microphone, says, I don't know if you want to see me compete tonight. I don't exactly have my gear with me. Oh, wait, I do have my gear with me. So for me, that's a you're on, and they shake hands. So later on tonight, we're going to get Carmelo Hayes versus Cody Rhodes. We're going to get to that. Our first matchup of the evening, and we got the LWO being represented not by Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. It's instead Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. It's about time these two teamed up as they faced Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza of Legado del Fantasma. It is more than time to split up this feud. I'm kind of sick of it. Anyway, definitely got some good lucha stuff both ways. And then LWO win with a 619 into a Project Dragon, which is a horrible name for a finisher, for the win for the LWO. Now, before things could continue, out comes Electro Lopez and Santos Escobar, with Santos saying, look, I'm a man of my word. I said I didn't attack Dragon Lee. While I can't prove it, Elektra can. And Ray, you're going to find this interesting. So they play up on the big board. It's now pretty much the entranceway. As we see Carlito taking out Dragon Lee a few weeks ago before WrestleMania. So then Carlito's in the helping manage the LWO. Everyone turns to Carlito. Carlito then shoves Rey Mysterio like he's a linebacker. It's a DDT on Dragon Lee, and Carlito leaves through the crowd. The match itself was kind of big bag of nothing. However, the angle, that was a dang good angle. I liked that. Very entertaining. So we'll see where this goes. Next up, ooh, this is an interesting one. We got Braun Breaker taking on Cedric Alexander. And while Cedric does get an opening salvo on, Braun Breaker hits the ropes a couple times. Spear, 1, 2, 3, your winner, Braun Breaker. And I'm going to say this, I do enjoy Braun Breaker's stuff. He needs to move up the card a little. Like, I think he could be a main event player at some point. But, yeah. Anyway, we cut to highlights of the past SmackDown where Naomi took on Bayley for the women's title with Tiffany Stratton interfering. So, we got that angle all set up. We then have Nick Aldis leaving the War Room for SmackDown. And he runs into Tiffany Stratton. She then says, oh, I took out both Naomi and Bayley last week. So why don't I have my title shot? Then Aldis pretty much says, look, I obviously wanted to just send you to the back of the line for what you did. But someone told me to do otherwise. So tonight, you get Naomi once again. And then Tiffany's like, what? Who would do that? In comes Bayley, who says, look, if tonight, if you win, you get the title shot. But if Naomi wins, she gets the shot she lost last week. And then Tiffany retorts, okay, I'll do what you couldn't do last week, and that's beat Naomi. Ooh, those are some fighting words. I can't wait to see that. We then have round numero dos for the WWE Draft. And announcing these picks, it's Michelle McCool and Tori Wilson. And SmackDown's first pick in the second round, it's the Viper Randy Orton. And going for Raw, Braun Breaker, which I'm going to say this. This one was a little confusing because there was this whole both sides trying to sign him, like before WrestleMania. Nick Aldis ultimately did, but now he's on Raw because I feel like there has to be a way to protect people like that from being drafted. There's got to be a different way to do this. Anyway, moving over to SmackDown, Nia Jax, in which, yeah, I like that. That's a great signing. And then sticking to Monday Night Raw, it is Liv Morgan. Yay. Anyway, then we get highlights of Tama Tonga beating the heck out of Kevin Owens last week. And then we see Paul Heyman. He's waiting in the car park. Big old SUV arrives. Paul Heyman opens the door. Solo Sikoa comes out. He's like, tell me everything that's going on. Why haven't the Bloodline been picked in the draft yet? And then Heyman's like, I'm gonna get this done. I'll make sure. I'll make sure that you guys get drafted. But the issue is you're adding some new members, so neither brand knows what they're getting. And then out comes Tama Tonga. He's breathing down Paul Heyman's neck. Then from the back, kind of from out of nowhere, Kevin Owens attacks the Bloodline from behind. Officials are in to break it up. Then we cut to the ramp, in which we have a Bianca Belair interview, saying, how she has so much history with the Damage Control, but at Backlash, I'm ready to put this behind me, and with my tag partner, win the tag team titles, so that the Kabuki Warriors won't have a reason to come back to SmackDown. This brings out the Kabuki Warriors. That's Asuka and Kairi Sane. They have a little stare down with Bianca. Then out comes Bianca Belair's backup, Jade Cargill. They have a little stare down. It looks like they're going to come to blows. Then we see coming out from the back, brawling between the two, Kevin Owens and Tama Tonga. They get in the ring. Kevin Owens with a great double leg takedown into some strikes. Officials are out to try and break it up, but Tama Tonga fights them off. Then out comes, I guess from the crowd, because I didn't see him coming down the ramp, Solo Sikoa. He's about to hit the big old Samoan spike on Kevin Owens. Who makes the save? It's the Viper Randy Orton, hitting a couple of clotheslines on Tonga, hitting a few strikes on Solo. Goes for the RKO. That gets blocked. Solo pushes Randy Orton off of him. Bloodline are trying to escape through the crowd. No, up the ramp. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are trying to follow them, but officials stop them on the ramp. So, nice little energy. Apparently, Jacob Fatu was supposed to be debuting tonight, but apparently that got moved. Probably going to happen at Backlash, which is just fine. Anyway, so we got round 3 of the draft, announcing the picks for Raw and SmackDown are the Dudley Boys, in which back in the original brand split, they actually got split up as a team, which is where we got Reverend Devon, which that's a very infamous gimmick. But that also introduced us to Deacon Batista, who would be later on known as the Animal Batista, who is still up there as one of my favorite wrestlers. Anyway, first pick of round number 3, going to SmackDown, or should I say staying on SmackDown, is L.A. Knight. Yeah! Honestly, I would like to see him on Raw. Like, there's not so much he can do on SmackDown right now, especially with Cody Rhodes holding the WWE title, Maybe he's the one who dethrones Logan Paul for the U.S. title, but I don't know. I feel like he would have been better off facing Priest. Staying on Monday Night Raw, we have the WWE Speed Champion. Spoiler alert for the 5 people who watch WWE Speed. It's Ricochet. Staying on SmackDown, we got Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and the wise man Paul Heyman. The Bloodline, they're staying on SmackDown. Moving over to Raw with Raw's last pick of the round 3, it's the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Now, he did recently return on Raw, but he was still listed as a SmackDown superstar. So I guess this technically counts as a move. I don't know. It's a little weird. Next match up, we got Tiffany Stratton taking on Naomi, with Bayley in on commentary. Match starts off with a Fez press from Naomi, which don't see that often. Naomi seems to have it in hand for a while, including a couple of powerbombs and a roll-up. But eventually, they both fall to the outside. Then, from out of nowhere, from the crowd, Nia Jax attacks Bayley on commentary, and Naomi eventually sees it. She goes down, tries to save Bayley, but Nia Jax pushes Naomi into the ring post, causing a no contest. So then Nia continues her attack on Bayley, and then she just kind of leaves, and then Tiffany Stratton rolls both Naomi and Bayley into the ring, sets them up, and hits the pre-hissed moonsault ever to end the segment. I don't love that fin. I don't love no DQ finishes like that. And I know they had a match previously, but I would have liked to seen Tiffany win. But it does set up for something interesting coming up. Don't you worry. We then get an interview with Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, and B-Fab in the ring, pretty much saying, look, we're chill. Wherever we're going to go, we're going to beat A-Town Down Under next week. We're going to be the champs, and we're just going to be on SmackDown. Then A-Town Down Under come in. That's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, pretty much saying, you obviously can't have SmackDown without the best tag team champs of all time. And we're going to beat you next week. So, nice, easy taunting. We then get a very weird shot of Karrion Kross. He's talking kind of smack on pretty much everyone. He then kind of leads the camera along this hallway, and then you see AOP beating up Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, aka No Catch Republic. Then Kross turns to the camera and pretty much says, no matter if we go to Raw or stay on SmackDown, the violence will continue. So, nice, easy, to the point promo. Although, apparently they made their debut on NXT recently, so I would think they would be NXT superstars? I don't know. It's weird. We then get to the final round for SmackDown. It's round 4, announcing the picks for Raw and SmackDown. You got John Bradshaw Layfield, aka JBL, and former SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long. Holla holla. So, making their first pick in this final round for SmackDown, it's AJ Styles. So he's staying on SmackDown. Staying on Raw, we got the Alpha Academy. That's Chad Gable, Akira Tozawa, Otis, and Maxine Dupree. Although I don't think they're long for this world. We'll wait on that. Moving to SmackDown officially, we have Andrade, which does make sense considering Zelina Vega's there, at least for now. And then the final pick of the SmackDown portion of the draft, it's Kiana James from NXT, former NXT Tag Team, Women's Tag Team Champion. And so then we cut to a Kiana James hype video. I wasn't super familiar with her, but she seems like, I don't know, she seems like kind of the elevated version of the beautiful woman trope that Vince liked. But she's like, businesswoman, but confident in her own. It's elevating, but it's also kind of nice. So then we got to the NXT Performance Center. Kiana James is there. She puts on a Raw hat. And we see her in an interview saying, "It means the world to me to go to Raw. And every decision I've made has come to this moment. While I've enjoyed my time on NXT, I'm going to show Raw what I'm all about." We then get a recap for NXT Spring Break, in which Trick Williams won the NXT title, in which a lot of people were hyped about that. Then we get a Nick Aldis interview. He says he's feeling good about the picks, but now we got to turn over to Backlash, and we got 2 matches to announce. Brings in Teddy Long. First match announced is the WWE Women's title on the line in a triple threat featuring Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton. That should be a fun one. And then Teddy Long announces this tag match, Holla Holla Playa. It's a tag team match, playa, as Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa take on Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. That's going to be a fun match, and should probably include Jacob Fatu debuting. That's what it feels like to me. And then we got our main event of the evening, as Carmelo Hayes takes on Cody Rhodes in a non-title contest. And oh boy, this was a fun little back and forth matchup. These two were just about perfect for each other. Although at one point, we had the two guys going for a springboard move, but they both whiffed, and it looked like Cody landed hard on his elbow. Carmelo then hits the first 48, goes for a frog splash, but misses. Cody with a super kick, misses on a Cody cutter. Hayes goes for a DDT, that gets blocked, right into a crossroads for the win for Cody Rhodes. We then see them on the ground, I guess, checking on each other. Then you see Carmelo Hayes kind of sit up, and Cody's like, "That was great, man. You're getting there. Let's see where you are in a while." And as then you have Cody lift Carmelo Hayes' arm up. Carmelo Hayes leaves the ring. Although he kind of sits on the apron for a second and kind of looks back up at Cody Rhodes. Then we get a pretty long shot on Cody. He's on the turnbuckle celebrating with his title. Turns around, AJ Styles is right there. Looks like he was about to attack him. And they just have a stare down to end the show. That was a very mixed bag of a SmackDown. Not to say anything was really bad, but I do understand the focus on the draft. But there's got to be a different way to do this draft without having I'm going to say this. I completely understand what they're going for. Like in real sports, when there's an expansion team, you get the expansion team gets certain picks from existing teams. Meanwhile, the existing teams get to protect some of their guys, which it does make sense, but I feel like there's a different way you can do this. Like maybe on a previous Raw or SmackDown, you see select superstars signing a like a draft protection clause or something. Like I think that should be the decision up to the superstar, and not just throw everyone in and just, pick out, certain people to keep. Like, I understand what they're doing. It could be handled in a better way. And, yeah, that is it for SmackDown. There are other draft picks that were made post SmackDown, which I feel like is a little weird. But I am going to give you who they are and where they went to. So, first draft pick post SmackDown, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They're going to Raw from SmackDown. Probably a pretty good idea, considering that's where the women's tag titles are going to be. Baron Corbin getting his call up from NXT to SmackDown. I honestly thought they were going to team him up with Braun Breaker. They had a pretty successful team in NXT. But I guess they're doing something else with Breaker, which is just fine. Cedric Alexander and Ashante the Adonis, they're staying on SmackDown. Ivar staying around on Raw. Shayna Baszler staying on Raw. Gallows and Anderson and Michin, aka the OC, staying on SmackDown. And we have Zoe Stark staying on Raw. Maybe not the most entertaining draft, but I understand what they're trying to do. So hopefully there is said to be more, big moves coming tonight on Raw. I guess we'll see. But until then, that'll do it for me. I hope you and everyone enjoyed. And until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.